Alright, fandom, how's it going? Today this video is going to be about, this is going to be different. It's going to be for the person who's just getting into comics and they want to read DC and Marvel. You know, DC and Marvel's really big right now because of the movies and everything. They're wondering, hey, where do I start? What are some basic books that I need to read? We're start with Superman. Start with Superman Birthright. Superman Birthright basically tells the origin story of Superman. That's all you really need to know. This is origin story of Superman. Jump into this. This is great reading. It's fun. It's written by Mark Waid. If you have a friend who he thinks you can't tell a good Superman story, here it is. It's awesome. Definitely pick this up. It's got great art too. You also get the reason. Mark Waid really develops in this story. Mark Waid's the author. The relationship between Lex Luthor and Superman and why they are so at odds with each other. I think Zack Snyder tried to take a little bit of it for Man of Steel. He took some pieces of it from here and it worked to varying degrees. It was okay. So, pick that up. It was really good. I like that. Gotta be moving pretty quick. Okay. More Superman. Mark Millar. Mark Millar is a name in the industry that's known for better or worse. He's kind of been a mixed bag for a lot of people. So check this out. This is called Superman Red Sun. Superman Red Sun, it basically tells the story of Superman if he landed in Soviet Russia instead of Kansas as a baby. This is an Elseworld story, which means it's free from continuity and they just changed something tiny and it affected Superman. It's awesome. It's an awesome read. Mark Millar really gets down to the core of what is Superman and why, even though if he would land in Soviet Russia and things like that, and even though his upbringing would be a little bit different, he'd still be a great guy. Plus, it has Soviet Batman in it. It has Soviet Batman in it, guys. Gotta pick it up and look at it at least. Check it out. It's a pretty fun read, actually. I didn't think he stuck the landing that great, but it's pretty good. So, pick that up. Okay, we're moving on. We're moving fast. Batman. Everybody loves Batman. This is Batman Year One. Batman Year One is written by Frank Miller. It's also probably the quintessential Batman origin. It's put on the list. Everybody thinks it's basically the greatest Batman story that's ever been written, and it has a lasting effect on Batman's origin even today. If you've ever seen the image where the pearls are falling on the floor from Barbara, from Bruce Wayne's mom. If you've ever seen that image, it was used in Batman Begins. It comes from here. So, essentially, this tells the story of Bruce Wayne and Batman Begins and how he first starts out. You've got you've got somebody who he's like, hey, I want to know where do I begin with Batman. Right there. Batman Year One. It's written by Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli. Great art in this, by the way. It's a fun read. You really get inside of Bruce Wayne's head and why he does what he does. He's also, you're going to notice, he doesn't do everything perfectly like the Batman we know today. He's still very young in this. He almost gets himself killed in this, so pick that up. And now, for what is, in my opinion, the best Batman story ever told. Dark Knight Returns. Back in the 1980s, Batman was kind of a joke. He's not the character that we know of today. And basically, we have Dark Knight Returns to thank for him kind of shifting gears and going into a darker route. Like I said, back in the 80s, he had this perception on him that he was goofy, and a lot of that has to do with the Adam West Batman, that TV show. But Frank Miller decided, you know what, I'm taking this guy in a different direction. And this is a quintessential story. This is on must-read lists. This has made just numbers of must-read comic book lists. You have to read this. If you are getting into comics, it is fantastic. The general premise of this is that Batman is now 60, 70 years old. He's retired. He's done. I'm done with the cowl. I want nothing to do with this. I'm out. However, something keeps pulling him back in. He doesn't know what it is. It's just something keeps itching at him. It keeps pulling him back in. Also, Gotham has gone downhill since he's left. And what's interesting really about this is that it explores the fact that without Batman, his villains wouldn't really exist. They are interconnected. There is a symbiotic relationship between the two. It's awesome. You get a grizzled older Batman. He's 67 years old, and when he finally does decide to put on the cowl and go back to the city and do what he does, you get the inner monologue. You're seeing, man, I'm really out of shape. I'm not, as good as I once was. It's fantastic. This has lasting effects even today. So, also, you are getting the Batman versus Superman fight. The one that DC is kind of trying to pronounce me. I don't know. We don't even know what DC's doing anymore, to be honest with you. I don't care. I just want a good movie, DC. Please don't screw this up. I love this book. Pick it up. It's essential if you were a Batman fan. More Batman, more Batman, more Batman. Okay. Batman the Black Mirror. Okay. The Black Mirror is basically a story written by Scott Snyder, Francisco Francavilla, and Jock. This is awesome. Essentially, this tells the story of Dick Grayson, who he is under the Batman mask at this point. Don't fast forward. Stay with me. Dick Grayson as Batman is awesome. Dick Grayson is also known as Nightwing or Robin. Before that, he grew up and got older, because that's when DC let their characters do that. Basically, it tells the story of this underground auction group that is selling things that they are important to Batman's history, and they are related to his villains. I'm not going to get into anything else other than that than to know that it introduces one of my favorite villains. One of my favorite villains in this story. It is awesome. There's a side story in this involving James Gordon's son that is fantastic. You have to read it. It is great. This really was the book that put Scott Snyder on the map. That's the author, Scott Snyder. So pick this up. Black Mirror. So great. Art by Francisco Francavilla and Jock. I still think this is the best thing that Scott Snyder has ever written. Okay. Now, New 52. New 52 is going to be a word that you hear around a lot. If you go to a comic shop and you ask them, hey, where can I start with reading comics? They'll probably point you in the direction of New 52. Hopefully you have a good comic shop. I've heard some horror stories. I'm sorry if you go to a comic shop and you get treated bad. They should not do that to you. But yeah. New 52 is basically DC in 2011-2012 decided we're going to reboot the entire line. We're starting from scratch. That's what we get. Right now. So, we get Batman the Court of Owls. You can jump onto this, it's perfectly fine. It's brand new continuity, and basically this tells the story of Batman. He's in his prime, and he thinks he knows everything about the city. Not quite. He soon discovers that there is an underground group, a cabal of characters that have been running things behind his back for hundreds of years without him knowing, and he is not happy. And they are targeting these different people around the city. Batman gets his ass handed to him in this pretty badly too. It's really a great pickup. You need to read this. If you pick this up, you're going to want to pick up Volume 2 because it kind of finishes off the story. But this is art by Greg Capullo and written by Scott Snyder. Like I said, New 52, new universe. You're going to go to a comic shop, tell them, hey, where do I start? They're probably going to tell you, DC, start reading New 52 books. Probably going to even recommend this. Batman's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Green Arrow. If you are a fan of the Green Arrow TV show, pick this up. It's a great read. Avoid the first 3 trades. You want to start at Volume 4. It'll say 4 on there. It's written by Jeff Lemire, and essentially it tells the story of Green Arrow. And basically, Jeff Lemire, he takes Green Arrow and he breaks him down to just basic. Green Arrow basic. He destroys his company, and he destroys everything around him. And somebody's doing a hostile takeover of Green Arrow's company. And Jeff Lemire introduces a lot of interesting concepts into this. There's totems, there's different types of these groups that they each have their own individual weapon. His happens to be an arrow. And they are all, striving for power and greatness. And somebody puts a hit out on Green Arrow. Pick this up. It's a fun read. I think you're going to enjoy it. I really enjoyed this, to be honest with you. Great art, too. So, yeah, definitely check this out. Okay. Last book for DC. Wonder Woman. New 52 Wonder Woman. I think out of all the books in the New 52 that have benefited from the most, it's this. Definitely check this out. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think this is awesome stuff. Um, they basically just rebooted her entire origin. You can jump onto this, it's perfectly fine, and it tells basically Wonder Woman, God of War. So badass, it's awesome. If you've got a girlfriend who she loves strong characters, or if you've got a female friend, or if you are even into strong female characters, or you want to read a good story, New 52 Wonder Woman is awesome. You can jump onto it, you don't need to know anything else. Essentially, it tells, they reboot her origin, and Zeus is gone. He is missing, and everybody's trying to fight for power. You are getting all the different gods that you know. You know, there's War, Apollo. They're all in here, and they do amazing stuff with the art design. Cliff Chang is awesome in this. So yeah, let's see. Okay. See if I can find a good page right there. Wonder Woman in this is great. She's a strong female character. I think you guys are going to enjoy it if you are a fan of Wonder Woman, or if you're looking for a good story. Pick it up. That is it for DC. I'm going to do another video tomorrow focusing on Marvel. These are great stories that you can pick up if you're a DC fan, or if you have somebody that's looking for DC. Again, check these out. It's awesome. Comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Bye. Hope you enjoy them. And I know your wallet's going to be hurting if you buy all that.